All right, so we're here with Meet Kevin in Ventura, California. We're out here, and Kevin's helping us with our business. And I wanted Kevin to make a video with us so that we could help our buyers and sellers and kind of give just an overall update as far as the real estate market goes and what Kevin's thoughts are and what he could share for buyers and sellers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for that. Yeah, look, we're in 2023 going to go through an interesting environment in that you're going to start seeing these year-over-year comparisons starting in February, March, April. And the Case-Shiller is about 2 months behind, so probably more like March to May. But then we'll actually start getting negative year-over-year real estate numbers for home prices. And that's going to create a lot of nervousness for folks. And what I believe is that every market is going to react independently to those. And I think working with experts like you is going to be really important for watching what is the data doing, and then the fear that comes with, oh my gosh, real estate prices are going down year over year, is going to have to be managed by both buyers and sellers within reason. So I think there's a risk that a lot of buyers could get very, very fearful that, oh no, we're on this never-ending slope. But if we look past these next sort of 6 months where we're comparing to this crazy peak we had of the beginning of last year, we're probably, the numbers I don't think are going to be that terrible for real estate. And it of course all comes down to when the Federal Reserve finally relaxes their aggressive hawkishness against their fight for inflation, which we expect by the end of the year will be down.
Yeah, and so we were talking earlier before we started the video. So, there might be some opportunity for buyers to get a good deal on a home, but there's also an opportunity if they're not prepared, they could really miss their chance to get this good deal.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So from a buyer point of view, I think if you're somebody who owns a home right now, now might be, and you're not looking at selling, maybe a perfect opportunity could be get a home equity line of credit, hook up with a realtor that can help you get into investing and into income property. Use that when we start seeing that peak fear and the lows of prices. If you're not already a property owner, this is the time to get your, even if you are, this is the time to get your pre-approval letter for your purchases. And I keep having buyers come that say things like, oh, I don't want them to run my credit yet. The lenders, it's like, run your credit, get situated, get completely approved. In fact, if you can get like a DU approval, a desk underwritten approval with your lender, oh, great if you could pull it off. So that way you're one of the top buyers. Definitely going to be time though to kind of watch, all right, which month do we want to buy in? Get ready, we got our letters, and strike. But make sure you strike too.
Yeah, and for sellers, and one of the sellers I just met with recently comes to mind. So they're building a house in another state and they're looking at selling. Somebody like that, they really need to get their house on the market and, take advantage of these prices where they're at now, because what we're seeing in our market is there's so few houses available that, some of these homes are still going for some pretty good prices.
They are, yeah. You're still, real estate has such a strong memory where the market moves so slowly when it kind of moves down. Even in 08, 09, which was a dramatic crash, real estate at most fell about 1.9% on a sort of a month-over-month basis, which compared to stocks is that's like a 20-minute move, So what's remarkable about that is as a seller, you've got lots of time to realize, okay, we know we're on that slide, but you've had plenty of time, I should say, to realize we're on it. Now it's like, well, let's take advantage of where the numbers are now. That's why I started with get your HELOC because you could still appraise for probably way higher than you could actually sell for. But yeah, if I needed to sell within the next year, I would rather do it today than 12 months from now. If I were to buy, I'd probably be leaning towards maybe, mid to the end of the year. So like end of Q2, Q3, Q4, but we'll see. Things can change. And that's where every local market is so important because, some areas peaked around February of 2022. Some didn't peak until June. And that 4 months can make a big difference.
What do you say to buyers who are sitting on the sidelines saying, I want to wait out these interest rates?
Yeah. So one of the things I think of as a buyer is I generally look and say, if I can afford the 30-year fixed rate payment and I can get a really great deal, something that maybe needs some work, and I can buy it below market value, maybe I can already build in enough insulation to where even if the market fluctuates a little bit, I get something I can handle payment-wise, I can handle it fix-up-wise, maybe it needs some basic cosmetics with the help of you, easy to handle. Then if something fits that bill, I'm okay with buying. I'd prefer to make sure I was really prepared with my pre-approval letter and knew, though, that I could qualify for the payments no matter what I was getting into. I would expect that at some point in the future, I should be able to refinance for lower, but I would not want to make that assumption. I think the worst thing to do is, well, I could float these payments for 6 months, but then I better be able to refinance. Don't bet on refinancing. That's a bonus. That's the way I would look at it.
Good.
Yeah. So I think a lot of what we're seeing right now is, in this market, things are kind of tentative, and it's almost like a standoff between buyers and sellers. It's like, who's going to make a move first?
Well, it is, because the sellers are looking at the higher comps and the buyers are like, it's just not worth that now, right? So, I mean, that's just the nature of uncertainty in the market, and people are getting laid off. Everybody's making less money. So, and at times like that, people get nervous, they get anxious. And look, even when times are good, home buyers are just inherently nervous about buying real estate. And the big thing that I think makes everything so much easier as a homeowner is looking at the big picture and realizing, wow, the average net worth of a homeowner is about 20 times that of the average tenant. You're looking at about $200,000 versus about $5,600 as a tenant. So really, you want to be on that ride of owning real estate. And generally, I'm a big fan of people buying and holding if they can, if it makes sense for them. And then just think about, all right, when am I buying my next property? When am I buying my next one? And building that rental portfolio.
Yeah. Good deal. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here. You have some properties that you're going to take us to, and we're going to continue our adventure here. So I appreciate your time with us, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.